Hey everyone, and welcome to this note. If you're a founder, a creator, or a digital entrepreneur, you are exactly where you need to be. Today, we're diving into a high-level masterclass where we're going to treat Facebook and really Meta's entire ecosystem not just as a bunch of social apps, but as a full-blown digital nation-state. Whether you're building the next big SaaS startup, scaling an e-commerce brand, or running a freelance business, consider this note your ultimate survival guide. We're going to decode the invisible architectural laws that govern this space so you can innovate, monetize, and frankly, thrive without constantly looking over your shoulder.
So I want to kick things off by having you ask yourself a pretty terrifying but highly practical question. Just imagine, right? You wake up tomorrow morning, grab your coffee, check your phone, only to find that your digital storefront, your primary source of income, your community, your entire lead generation engine has been completely disabled. No warning, just gone. It sounds like a nightmare, but it happens literally every single day to well-intentioned business owners who just misunderstood the algorithm's boundaries.
Let's put the scale of this into perspective because it's honestly mind-blowing. We are talking about 3.35 billion, billion with a B, daily active users across Meta's platforms, generating a staggering $164 billion in annual revenue. For a lot of us, our livelihood is tied directly to this exact digital real estate. Operating blindly on a platform of this massive scale, it's just a huge financial risk. Mastering these rules isn't just about ticking a compliance box, it's absolutely crucial. It's the ultimate form of algorithmic literacy and digital self-defense to protect your wealth-building potential.
All right, let's jump right into part one, the foundation, Meta's constitution.
To survive and build a profitable empire here, you first have to understand the constitution that governs this massive society. Meta's ecosystem is built on 4 core pillars: authenticity, safety, privacy, and dignity. Now, these aren't just corporate HR buzzwords. There's the actual weighted variables running inside their machine learning models. Every single time you post an ad or upload a reel, the system is actively weighing massive global commerce and free expression directly against users' safety and privacy.
It's all a really delicate balancing act. Meta's stated primary objective is to give people a voice. They champion free expression, sure, but they constantly have to weigh the public interest of keeping your content up against the severe real-world risk of offline harm. As a founder, your job is to make sure your content aligns with that push for authentic expression, while staying strictly clear of those hidden safety tripwires.
Which brings us to part 2, the nuance of moderation.
Understanding exactly where the algorithmic border patrol draws the line is a critical money-saving skill. Take a look at the exact mechanics of their hate speech policy. Under their rules, a direct attack on a protected group of people, for example, saying Christians are evil, is a strict violation. Boom, content removed. But actually, look at the flip side. An attack on a concept or an institution, like saying Christianity is evil, is entirely permissible under their First Amendment-style philosophy. If you're discussing controversial topics, knowing the difference between attacking a concept versus a demographic is literally the difference between going viral and losing your monetization overnight.
Let's keep moving. Part 3, the moderation machine.
Let's peek under the hood to see how they actually enforce these complex laws at planetary scale. Think of it as a giant enforcement funnel. First up, AI performs a proactive match, instantly blocking known severe threats before they're even published. Next is automated detection, where algorithms flag suspicious behaviors or keywords. Third, we have actual user reports. And finally, at the very bottom, human reviewers step in for the really complex, nuanced stuff. You've got to realize your content is passing through layers and layers of AI before a human ever even lays eyes on it. Now, this next part is just fascinating. Look at that natural engagement pattern. Internal research has historically shown that content that tiptoes right up to the absolute edge of breaking the rules, that's the stuff that skyrockets. Sensationalism drives clicks, right? If you're a marketer, you've definitely felt this pull, that deep temptation to push the envelope just a little bit further to get those better metrics. But Meta knows this. To fight that natural viral pull, they previously engineered their AI systems to actively demote and throttle that borderline content. They effectively inverted the curve. They penalized creators who played too close to the edge to try and reduce polarization. So for a business owner, creating edgy content might actually get you shadow banned rather than giving you that explosive growth you're looking for.
But things are changing fast. Part 4, the big policy shift. 97%. That is a massive number. According to a recent report by the Center for Countering Digital Hate, over 97% of Meta's enforcement in key areas, like hate speech and harassment, was previously proactive, meaning the AI caught it and killed it before any user even had to report it.
But reporting purely on the latest data here, Meta recently announced some pretty sweeping changes to this landscape. They're actually scaling back proactive enforcement on certain policies, relying way more on user reports. They are pulling back on demoting that borderline content we just talked about. They're also transitioning from independent fact-checkers over to a crowdsourced community notes model and loosening some restrictions on language around immigration and gender. Now, this has sparked a massive global debate about user safety versus open speech. But for us, as professionals, the key takeaway is that the algorithm's boundaries are constantly shifting, and your content strategy has to stay incredibly agile.
This leads us perfectly into Part 5, Navigating the AI Era. You have to adapt to these shifting sands, especially as AI gets integrated into absolutely everything. A great example of this is Meta's recent pivot on AI labeling. They used to strictly stamp content with a heavy "made with AI" label, which accidentally penalized creators who were just using basic digital retouching tools. But, listening to industry feedback, they've shifted to a much softer AI info label for minor automated touch-ups. This is a game changer for your business workflows, making sure you aren't unfairly stigmatized just for using modern tools to scale your work.
Let's get really practical now. Part 6, Protecting Your Digital Assets.
So how do we turn all this theory into an actionable toolkit? Here is your defense protocol. If your account or ad gets hit, you've got to be methodical, not emotional. Step 1, submit the official appeal form. Step 2, demand a hyper-specific explanation of the exact violation. Do not just accept a generic automated bot response. Step 3, cross-reference their claim against the exact written standards we've covered today. And finally, Step 4, do an objective reinstatement possibility analysis. Is it a minor mistake or a massive breach? Treat your appeal like a professional legal defense grounded entirely in their own rulebook.
I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on as we wrap up this note. When you build a business on social media, you are fundamentally playing in someone else's sandbox. In a digital economy governed by algorithms, to truly thrive, to innovate, and to build lasting wealth, you absolutely cannot afford to be a passive tenant just hoping for the best. You've got to master the laws of the platform you're building on. So stay curious, stay adaptable, and use what you learned today to secure your digital future. Thanks so much for hanging out with me in this masterclass, and I'll catch you in the next note.